that old Hanna-Barbera logo. So that reminds me of something, and honestly, I have not talked to one person who remembers this. Like, apparently, I was the only one that watched this. So when I was a little kid, I used to get, I was babysat. I was watched at this person's house. It was like a neighbor or something. I don't remember. I just remember I didn't have fun there. But one thing I did have fun with was there was a TV show that they used to watch. And at the time, it was on the Disney Channel. But apparently before that, like the year before that, it was on like a regular channel. Now, this show, I remember it so distinctly, but I also don't remember it at all. It's so weird. Um, there was a little kid who, I guess it was his house, because it was like he'd come downstairs into a basement. And when he got down there, there was this robot that kind of looked like if Johnny Five had an affair with Rosie from the Jetsons, sort of, but he had like a VCR, a VHS head, sort of. And he had like a Michelangelo voice.
You wash, I'll buff and polish with this.
Turtle wax? That's for cars.
Well, you know, I figured.
So this show was basically it like introduced cartoons. It was Hanna-Barbera cartoons, and in between the cartoons, these two would do a little show, and sometimes it was a little longer, more of the show, and sometimes it was more of the cartoons. But I don't know why, but I remember this. Well, I just found out that this show, so when it first started, it was called Wake, Rattle, and Roll. Somebody tell me if you remember that. Like it was a whole thing. The theme song was. Then what happened was, I don't know if they were planning to do this. I don't think they were planning to, but somehow it went from regular, like Saturday morning cartoons timing to, which is why it was called Wake, Rattle, and Roll, to the Disney Channel. And then they changed the name to Jump, Rattle, and Roll. And this is the thing I just found out is that Jump, Rattle, and Roll, I almost said Wake, Rattle, and Roll. Jump, Rattle, and Roll is the only show on the Disney Channel that wasn't produced and owned by Disney. So I think that's kind of cool. That'd be a cool little stat to have. Commercial break.
Rattle and Roll will continue after these messages. Now, back to Wake, Rattle, and Roll!
Okay, yeah, so tell me if you remember this show. If you do me a favor, give it a rating. You know that. Give it a rating. On a scale from 1 to 22, 22 is the best. Please, somebody else remember it, because it's one of those things that I've throughout the years I've been like, you remember that show with the kid in the basement with the robot that looks like that? And not one person that I've ever met, not a single one has ever remembered it. So tell me, be the different one, and somebody remember it. I really like the show, even though it was corny as anything.
Thank Kevin for little turtles. Bonjour and welcome to Shedex. I am your waiter. May I take your shell?
Yeah, it was corny, but it was fun. All right, nostalgia rules.